what was the tipping point where you're like, I'm creating something that's quite unique, that people want to be a part of? When did you think, I can make this my full-time living?
Well, it's all, as you said, it's been really organic. So what happened was I was featuring a lot of local businesses because I cover design and a lot of retail, and I'd feature retailers that were interesting and creative. And then what started happening was they would get a really great response from having been featured. And what started off happening was a few local businesses said to me, can I advertise? And I hadn't really thought about it. Right. And I had no idea how to run advertising, and I just really made it up. I just kind of made some space for ads and, like, you know, really, really low tech, just Googled how to turn my blog from 2 columns into 3 columns so I could fit some ads down the side. It was super basic though at that stage. And I just made some room for some ads, and I just charged them like something really basic to start with, like just like a monthly fee. And that's how it unfolded. And now, 5 years on, I'm finally trying to actually put a bit of a business plan and some structure in place, because really none of it's had much of a plan until now. But yeah, so it just started like that. People would request advertising, so I kind of made room for it. And I guess that's when I realised that this thing has a commercial, you know, I guess that there is a viability there, because you know, the businesses I featured had seen a response. But I'm still I'm always quite balanced with it, and it's not in my nature to be overly commercial either, so it's always a real struggle to keep that balance, right?
Which was, when I heard you, because I just started Show and Tell when Claire Bowditch's conference was out, which is about combining creativity with business and making money from doing what you love. Something creative. And you just had it was perfect time hearing your speech, because you are where we hope we'll get, you know, in terms of doing what we love and being able to do it full time. But just in terms of finding your audience, and don't rush, just let them organically find you. Because I do think you go, oh shit, how are we going to make money off this? But I think you prove that if you're doing what you love and you're doing it well, it will come. Yeah,
well, I really believe, I mean, it's definitely not the fastest way, let's face it. I mean, at the 3-year mark, I quit my day job. So I'd been running my site for 3 years before I made any money. Having said that, I never planned to make money, so I guess it could happen quicker if you were actually planning from the outset. But I really believe that, I mean, I think your power as a publication, which is what you're doing and what I do really, it's having online kind of, well, mine's, I guess, equivalent to like an online magazine or something. But I think the power of any form of media is the audience, and that's what you've got to constantly remind yourself of. And I just think I wouldn't want to go to market if I didn't have a really solid kind of like kick-ass bunch of readers to go, this is who support the blog and this is who, you know, so you can tell. It feels like all the readers are like my cheer squad, and so anything I'm doing there, when I get sponsorship for an event I want to run, it's not about me, it's about those guys, and that's what you've got to keep. I mean, that's been a shift in my mind to really get my head around that and thinking about the blog in that commercial way. But I guess when I first started writing the design files, there was no way in hell any blog in Australia was going to be a full-time living for anyone. So it didn't even cross my mind that this could be a full-time job, because there was no precedent for it in Australia. I'd never seen any full-time blogger in my field in Australia. So I didn't even think about monetizing it for 2 years, and I think that was actually really good, because I grew this real organic, really strong, loyal readership base, and I really got their trust before I ventured into that territory. And in a way it's harder now, because there's so many businesses and there's so much kind of pressure on blogs to monetize, and lots of people approach blogs and want to place ads on there, and it's not, I don't know, it's harder to do it your way now, because there's so much kind of influence and a lot more focus on commercialising everything straight away online now, and it didn't used to be like that.
And I love how you said, because it wasn't really done, you're like, just make it up as you go, which I love, because if you have a good product that you know is valuable and people love it, you can do what you set the rules.
There's
and that's what I loved about it, because I think you can get stuck in going, this is for this, this is for this, but go, just do it. No, there's no, if they say no, they say no, but just give it a go.
Well, I was really bogged down when I first started running advertising on the site, which is my site only makes money through advertising. And so you know, when I first started, I felt like there must be some rule. If you have X number of readers, this is what advertising should cost. And I spoke to a few people that, you know, my brother works in radio and he doesn't work, you know, in online, but kind of gave me a bit of advice. And I just had a bit of advice here and there about what it should cost. But I really quickly learned that there is no formula, and it's actually not about the number of readers, because sometimes a very niche publication, which mine is, can have less readers than the age, but they're really engaged, so that the interest in the ads is much greater. So you just have to, at the end of the day, it's like selling a house. It's worth what someone wants to pay for it on the day.
Yeah, right.
But it's just getting your head around having those negotiations, which isn't usually a creative person's strength.
No.
And so it wasn't mine at the start.
And because you have done all of it, and you've just recently brought somebody else on.
Yeah.
Do you, because I think, you know, you will admit that you are a control freak when it comes to your work.
I am.
So did you find it, and this person that you've brought on is amazing. Lisa is amazing.
Yes,
but do you find it hard saying, okay, here's a part of this thing I've grown, now come on board and we can do this together?
I did initially, but I have to say it's been a really good training for me too, because having an assistant who's, I mean, the other thing, when you have a small business, you're sitting next to your assistant all day. So it's as much about personalities and liking the person as it is about them being great at their job. The thing with me is the design process is such a mixed bag. And so I do everything from, I mean, I get help along the way, but from technical HTML kind of.
Do you do the coding on your website?
No, but just if things need fixing, you know, I don't do it. I do have a web team to do big things. But, you know, when things go wrong, you just have a little tinker. But, you know. So, you know,
I don't tinker. I'm like, oh!
Anyway, so that, and then, you know, doing the bookkeeping and, you know, all that. So I guess the fact that I do everything means that anyone who comes into the company has to be prepared to do everything too. They're not just going to do admin or just going to do creative. So, but it's been a really good training ground for me because she is so good, and I've learned you can delegate and it gets done really well. And she's only sitting across the table anyway, so there's not going to be any major stuff-ups betwing here and 2 meters away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So it's actually been a good training for me to go, not everything falls apart when you give someone else something to do.
It is scary though, isn't it? Handing it over. I guess now you realise it frees up your time and she does it well. It's easier.
Yeah.
To start with, to go, okay.
It was really scary.
Yeah, I bet it would be.
Oh, just because in particular what I do, the design process is very tied to my voice. It's very personal.
Yeah.
And, so it was scary, but it's been amazing. It's the best thing I ever did was hire an assistant.
Yeah, right.